Have you ever found yourself on the receiving end of someone's disrespect, wondering what you did to deserve it? Disrespect can come from colleagues, friends, or even family members, and it has a way of shaking our confidence and disturbing our peace. But here's the good news. While you cannot control how others treat you, you have complete control over how you respond. This is where Stoicism, the ancient philosophy of resilience and inner peace, offers timeless wisdom. In today's video, we'll explore 8 powerful ways to handle people who don't respect you. These strategies are not about changing others, but about strengthening yourself, your boundaries, your mindset, and your peace of mind. Each approach builds on Stoic principles, helping you reclaim your sense of worth and navigate difficult situations with grace. Stay with us until the end, where we'll uncover the most transformative Stoic insight of all: how self-respect radiates outward and shapes the world around you. Let's begin this journey by looking inward, because as Marcus Aurelius reminds us, the soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts. 1. Respect starts from within. How do you measure your self-worth? Too often, we rely on external validation, others' opinions, compliments, or approval. But Stoicism teaches us a different path. True respect starts from within. The way you view yourself, the thoughts you allow to shape your mind, and the standards you set in your life form the foundation of how others will treat you. When someone disrespects you, it's tempting to internalize their behavior, questioning your value, or even blaming yourself. But consider this: does another person's rude comment or dismissive attitude truly define who you are? Or is it merely a reflection of their own struggles, insecurities, or lack of character? Marcus Aurelius, a Stoic philosopher and Roman emperor, reminds us, if you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it. In other words, the real harm comes not from the disrespect itself, but from how we interpret and respond to it. When you place your sense of worth in the hands of others, you give away your power. But when you anchor it within yourself, you become unshakable. Ask yourself, what are the thoughts that fill your mind when you experience disrespect? Do you replay the incident, letting it take up mental space and erode your confidence? Or do you remind yourself that your value isn't up for debate? Stoicism teaches us that self-respect is non-negotiable. It's not something others grant us, it's something we cultivate through our actions and attitudes. Consider Stephen's story. As a manager, he faced constant disrespect from a team member who interrupted him in meetings and spread negativity. For months, Stephen endured it, believing his patience and kindness would eventually earn respect. But the more he tolerated, the worse the behavior became. Finally, Stephen decided to embody Stoic principles. He set a clear boundary, calmly addressing the issue and outlining consequences for continued disrespect. In that moment, Stephen wasn't just enforcing professional standards. He was affirming his own worth. Self-respect requires us to act, not merely hope for better treatment. It calls for setting boundaries, saying no when necessary, and refusing to tolerate anything that diminishes our peace. As Seneca wisely said, "No man is free who is not master of himself." When you take control of your inner world, others have no choice but to adjust how they treat you, or fall away altogether. The beauty of Stoicism lies in its practicality. You don't need anyone's permission to respect yourself. Start today by asking, what standards am I setting in my interactions? Are they reflective of the person I aspire to be? Remember, when you carry yourself with dignity, you teach others how to treat you. The respect you seek from the world must first be cultivated within. Now that we've established the foundation of self-respect, let's move to the next step: creating boundaries that protect your peace and reinforce your worth. 2. Set clear boundaries. Have you ever found yourself tolerating behavior that left you feeling drained or diminished? simply because you didn't want to create conflict? Many of us fall into the trap of hoping that disrespectful people will eventually realize their mistakes and change their ways. But Stoicism reminds us that respect is not granted by chance. It must be clearly defined and calmly enforced. Boundaries are the invisible lines that protect your peace and signal to others how you expect to be treated. Without them, you risk allowing disrespect to become a norm in your relationships. As Epictetus famously said, "It is not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." Setting boundaries is your way of taking proactive control over your reactions, ensuring that others know what you will and will not accept. Imagine this. A colleague repeatedly interrupts you during meetings. At first you brush it off, telling yourself it's not a big deal. But over time, their behavior begins to undermine your confidence and authority. What should you do? Stoicism offers a simple but powerful approach. Address the issue with calm clarity. You might say, "I value respectful dialogue, and I'd appreciate it if you let me finish my points before responding." No anger, no aggression, just a firm statement of your expectations. The discomfort of setting boundaries is often fleeting, but the long-term benefits are profound. Each time you stand up for yourself, you reinforce your own self-respect. You're also teaching others how to treat you, laying the groundwork for healthier interactions. As Marcus Aurelius observed, a person's worth is measured by the worth of what they value. If you value respect, you must be willing to demand it. Think of boundaries not as walls that keep others out, but as structures that define the kind of life you want to lead. They protect your emotional well-being and reflect your priorities, whether it's telling a friend that certain jokes are off limits or calmly letting a coworker know that you need uninterrupted focus time. Each boundary you set is a step toward living in alignment with your values. But what if others push back? What if they accuse you of being difficult or overly sensitive? This is where Stoic resilience comes into play. Remember, your goal is not to please everyone, but to protect your peace. Not every boundary will be welcomed, and that's okay. The important thing is that you remain true to yourself. Now, I want to hear from you. Have you ever set a boundary that made a difference in your life? Or perhaps you've struggled with enforcing boundaries and want to learn how to do it more effectively. Share your experiences in the comments below. Let's learn from each other and grow together. And if you're finding these insights valuable, give this video a like. It's a small gesture that helps spread Stoic wisdom to those who need it. Next, we'll explore a subtle yet powerful strategy for protecting your peace, learning to limit your exposure to negativity. Stay with us as we continue this journey toward mastering respect and resilience. 3. Limit your exposure. Not every battle is worth fighting, and not every relationship deserves your time and energy. One of the hardest yet most liberating lessons in Stoicism is realizing that you have the power to choose where and with whom you spend your time. While some interactions, like those with co-workers or family, may be unavoidable, you can still control the depth and frequency of your engagement. Limiting your exposure to those who disrespect you is not an act of avoidance. It's a deliberate choice to protect your peace. Seneca once said, "We suffer more often in imagination than in reality." Often, the suffering we endure stems from allowing toxic individuals to occupy too much space in our minds and lives. Consider this. How much time do you spend replaying disrespectful encounters, trying to figure out what you could have said or done differently? Now ask yourself, what if you simply reduced the amount of time you spent around those individuals? Limiting exposure doesn't require grand gestures or dramatic exits. It can be as simple as scaling back your interactions. For example, if a colleague consistently undermines you, keep conversations strictly professional and task-focused. If a friend's negativity weighs on you, politely decline frequent hangouts and instead prioritize relationships that bring joy and encouragement. David's story illustrates this well. For years, He attended weekly family gatherings where one relative would belittle his career choices. David endured this, thinking family obligations left him no choice. But each Sunday, the anxiety of facing that relative would creep in, turning what should have been a time of connection into a source of stress. Finally, David decided to attend only the gatherings he truly valued, choosing to see family members in smaller, more positive settings. The result? He felt lighter, more in control, and more at peace. Stoicism teaches that we must guard our emotional energy like a precious resource. You wouldn't leave your doors wide open, allowing anyone to come and go as they please, so why do the same with your mental space? By limiting your exposure to those who show you disrespect, you preserve your energy for relationships and experiences that uplift you. This practice is particularly important in today's hyper-connected world, where negativity can reach you at the tap of a screen. Social media, for instance, is a breeding ground for unnecessary conflict and disrespect. If you find certain interactions online draining, consider muting or unfollowing accounts that don't align with your values. Just because someone has access to you doesn't mean they deserve your time. Remember, this isn't about isolating yourself or avoiding difficult conversations. It's about making intentional choices that prioritize your mental well-being. By reducing exposure to negativity, you create space for positive, enriching connections to flourish. And as those connections grow, you'll find yourself more resilient, more centered, and more aligned with the Stoic principle of inner peace. Next, we'll discuss the power of surrounding yourself with people who uplift and support you, a crucial step in building the resilience needed to handle disrespect with grace. 4. Surround yourself with supportive people. No one navigates life's challenges alone, and when it comes to handling disrespect, the people you surround yourself with can make all the difference. Stoicism teaches us that while we may not control the behavior of others, we can control the company we keep. By intentionally choosing relationships that uplift, encourage, and respect you, you create a foundation of strength that helps you weather any storm. Marcus Aurelius reminds us, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." But where do those thoughts often stem from? The people around us. When you're constantly exposed to negativity, it's easy to internalize it. Conversely, when you surround yourself with supportive individuals, their encouragement and respect can reinforce your own sense of self-worth. Consider a time when you felt uplifted simply by being around the right people. Perhaps it was a friend who reminded you of your strengths during a challenging moment, or a mentor who offered wisdom that helped you see a difficult situation in a new light. These relationships act as a mirror, reflecting back the best parts of who you are and reminding you of your inherent value when disrespect from others makes you doubt it. Paul's story is a testament to this. He spent years in a toxic work environment where his boss's disrespectful behavior eroded his confidence. Over time, Paul began to believe the problem was with him. But when he finally opened up to his circle of trusted friends, they reminded him of his strengths and encouraged him to seek opportunities where he would be valued. Their support gave him the courage to leave the toxic job and find a healthier, more fulfilling workplace. Stoicism emphasizes the importance of community, not in the sense of seeking validation, but in finding strength through shared values and mutual respect. A supportive circle holds you accountable to your principles, encouraging you to stay true to yourself even in the face of disrespect. They don't just comfort you, they challenge you to grow, providing a safe space for reflection and resilience. Modern life often pulls us in many directions, making it easy to neglect these vital connections. But just as iron sharpens iron, we need people who challenge and inspire us. Surrounding yourself with supportive individuals isn't just about seeking solace in tough times. It's about cultivating a network that helps you thrive. Reflect on the people in your life. Do they encourage you to be your best self? Do they respect your boundaries and values? If not, it might be time to reconsider the role they play in your journey. By choosing to invest in relationships that uplift and align with your values, you reinforce the Stoic principle that true strength comes from within, but it is fortified by the right company. Next, we'll explore one of the hardest yet most empowering Stoic lessons: knowing when to walk away. 5. Walk away when necessary. Sometimes the most courageous and empowering decision you can make is to walk away. It might feel like defeat in the moment, but Stoicism teaches us that walking away is not about giving up. It's about choosing yourself. When disrespect becomes a pattern, lingering in such environments or relationships only chips away at your peace and self-worth. Seneca once said, "You act like mortals in all that you fear, and like immortals in all that you desire." Life is short, too short to spend in places that drain your spirit or with people who refuse to honor your boundaries. Walking away is a declaration of self-respect, a bold act of saying, "I will no longer tolerate what diminishes my peace." Consider James, who spent years enduring public criticism from his boss. Each cutting remark chipped away at his confidence. He convinced himself that staying was a sign of resilience, but deep down, he felt trapped. One day, after yet another demeaning comment, James made a Stoic decision. He chose to walk away, not in anger, but with quiet confidence. This choice marked the beginning of a new chapter, one where he found a workplace that valued his contributions. Walking away doesn't always mean leaving a job or ending a relationship overnight. Sometimes it's about setting mental and emotional boundaries while planning your next steps. You might not be able to change your environment immediately, but you can start shifting your mindset, detaching from toxic dynamics, and preserving your energy for what truly matters. It's important to recognize that not every situation can or should be fixed. Some people may never change, and some environments may remain toxic despite your best efforts. Stoicism teaches us to focus on what we can control, our actions and decisions. Walking away is one such decision, a powerful way to reclaim control over your life. So, have you ever faced a situation where you knew walking away was the best choice? Or perhaps you're currently wrestling with the decision? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Your experiences might inspire someone else to take that brave step toward reclaiming their peace. And if this resonates with you, give this video a like to let us know you're finding value in these Stoic insights. Next, we'll uncover the art of disengaging from power struggles, another key Stoic principle for handling disrespect with grace and wisdom. 6. Don't engage in power struggles. Disrespect often comes with an underlying motive: control. People who thrive on creating conflict or belittling others seek to provoke a reaction. They know that by stirring your emotions, they can draw you into a battle where the real prize isn't resolution, but dominance. Stoicism offers a simple yet profound strategy for such situations. Refuse to engage. Power struggles are traps. They lure you in with the promise of vindication, but more often than not, they leave you drained and frustrated. When you react in anger or defensiveness, you hand over control of your emotions. Epictetus reminds us, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." The moment you allow someone else's behavior to dictate your response, you've surrendered your power. Imagine a scenario where a colleague dismisses your ideas in a meeting. It's tempting to respond immediately, to assert your value in the heat of the moment. But what if you paused instead? By taking a breath and choosing your response with intention, you demonstrate composure and self-mastery. A calm, measured reply, or even silence, can be far more powerful than meeting disrespect with the same energy. Stoicism encourages us to prioritize our peace over winning every argument. This doesn't mean you ignore disrespect or let others walk over you. It means recognizing when a confrontation is unproductive and refusing to be dragged into a cycle of negativity. The goal isn't to prove your worth to others. It's to remain anchored in your own sense of value, regardless of their behavior. Disengaging from power struggles also sends a clear message. It shows that you are not easily rattled, that your sense of self is not dependent on external validation. This kind of restraint can be disarming, even unsettling, for those who seek to provoke you. Over time, they may realize that their tactics are ineffective, leading to a shift in the dynamic. In the fast-paced world we live in, opportunities for conflict abound. Whether it's an inflammatory comment on social media or a heated discussion at a family gathering, the temptation to engage is everywhere. But Stoicism reminds us that not every battle is worth fighting. Ask yourself, is this worth my energy? Will engaging in this struggle bring me closer to peace? If the answer is no, let it go. By mastering the art of disengagement, you cultivate an inner strength that is unshaken by the provocations of others. This is not avoidance, it's wisdom. And as you'll see in the next section, silence itself can be one of the most powerful tools in your Stoic arsenal. 7. Respond with silence. Silence is a weapon often underestimated. In the face of disrespect, it can speak louder than words. Stoicism teaches us that silence is not a sign of weakness, but a mark of inner strength. When someone aims to provoke you, they expect a reaction, a rebuttal, an argument, or even an emotional outburst. By responding with silence, you deny them the satisfaction of controlling your emotions, maintaining both your dignity and your peace. Marcus Aurelius wisely noted, "The best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injury." Silence embodies this principle. When you refuse to engage in petty conflict, you rise above the behavior that seeks to bring you down. In choosing silence, you make it clear that your time and energy are too valuable to waste on meaningless disputes. Consider a scenario where someone makes a cutting remark in a group setting. The immediate instinct might be to respond in kind, defending yourself or matching their tone. But what if instead you simply paused? That moment of silence speaks volumes. It conveys that their words have no power over you and that you won't stoop to their level. Often, it leaves the other person floundering, unsure of how to proceed without the reaction they anticipated. Silence also offers you a gift: time. It creates a space for reflection, allowing you to assess the situation and choose a response that aligns with your values. Stoicism emphasizes the importance of mastering your reactions, and silence is a powerful tool in achieving this mastery. As Seneca observed, "Better to trip with the feet than with the tongue." In other words, it is wiser to remain silent than to speak in haste and regret your words later. There is another subtler power in silence. It forces others to confront their behavior. Without the distraction of a verbal clash, they are left alone with their words and actions. This can lead to introspection, making them reconsider their approach. In this way, your silence becomes a mirror, reflecting their conduct back at them. In the digital age, where arguments often erupt on social media or through rapid-fire text exchanges, silence is more crucial than ever. The impulse to respond immediately can escalate situations unnecessarily. But by stepping back and allowing silence to fill the space, you maintain control and set a precedent for how you wish to engage or not engage with negativity. Silence is not about passivity or avoiding confrontation when action is needed. It is about discernment, knowing when to speak and when to let your quiet resolve do the talking. This measured approach aligns with Stoicism's core principle of focusing on what you can control, your reactions, and your peace of mind. In the next and final step, we'll delve into a crucial mindset shift: not taking disrespect personally. This perspective can transform the way you perceive and respond to challenging interactions. 8. Don't take it personally. One of the most liberating teachings of Stoicism is the realization that others' actions and words are rarely about you. Disrespect often stems from the other person's inner struggles, their frustrations, insecurities, or unprocessed emotions. When you learn not to take these behaviors personally, you free yourself from the weight of their opinions and maintain control over your own peace. Marcus Aurelius reminds us, if you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it. In other words, it's not the disrespectful act that causes harm, but how you interpret it. By shifting your perspective, you can view such behavior as a reflection of the other person's state of mind, rather than a judgment on your worth. Imagine you receive a sharp critique from a colleague who seems perpetually dissatisfied. Your initial reaction might be defensiveness or frustration, but Stoicism invites you to pause and ask, is their criticism truly about me? Or could it be rooted in their own pressures and anxieties? More often than not, their behavior says more about them than it does about you. Detaching yourself from the need to take everything personally creates a mental buffer, allowing you to respond with clarity rather than emotion. This is not to say you ignore all feedback. Constructive criticism can be valuable. The key is to distinguish between helpful insights and harmful negativity, letting the latter pass by without taking root in your mind. Consider another scenario. A friend makes a dismissive comment about your lifestyle choices. Instead of internalizing their words and questioning your decisions, Stoicism encourages you to reflect on their perspective. Perhaps their comment is fueled by their own insecurities or a lack of understanding. By choosing not to take it personally, you maintain your sense of self and avoid unnecessary emotional turmoil. Epictetus offers a powerful reminder. It is not things that upset us, but our judgment about things. When you stop attributing personal meaning to others' disrespect, you reclaim your emotional freedom. You no longer waste energy trying to decipher their motives or seeking their approval. Instead, you focus on what truly matters, living in alignment with your values and maintaining your inner peace. This mindset shift doesn't come overnight. It requires practice and mindfulness to recognize when you're starting to internalize external negativity. But with time, you'll find that the sting of disrespect lessens, replaced by a quiet confidence in your own worth. As we've explored today, dealing with disrespect is less about changing others and more about strengthening yourself. Stoicism offers a powerful framework for navigating these challenges with grace and resilience. By respecting yourself, setting boundaries, limiting exposure to negativity, and mastering your reactions, you create a life where peace is not a fleeting moment, but a steady state of being. Each of the 8 principles we've discussed builds upon the foundation of self-respect. They remind us that while we cannot control the actions of others, we hold complete authority over our responses. Walking away from toxic situations, surrounding ourselves with supportive individuals, and choosing silence or disengagement when necessary are not signs of weakness, but profound acts of self-care. Ultimately, these Stoic strategies lead us to a place of empowerment. You become the master of your inner world, unshaken by external provocations. Respect is no longer something you seek from others. It radiates from within, influencing how others perceive and interact with you. Now we'd love to hear from you. Which of these Stoic principles resonated with you the most? Have you applied any of these strategies in your own life, and how did they transform your experiences? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Your insights could inspire someone else on their journey. If you found value in this exploration of Stoicism, consider liking this video and subscribing to our channel. By doing so, you'll join a growing community of individuals dedicated to cultivating inner strength and resilience. Don't forget to turn on notifications so you never miss our next deep dive into the practical wisdom of Stoicism. Thank you for spending your time with us today. May these lessons guide you toward a life filled with peace, purpose, and unshakable confidence. Until next time, remember, the respect you seek from the world starts with the respect you give yourself. Stay strong and live intentionally.